welcome to Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. It's been busy this week. The East Wing of the White House has been demolished to make space for Donald Trump's new ballroom. This must be galling for Al-Qaeda. They tried to destroy the White House. They tried to destroy the White House on 9/11. All they had to do was start a construction company and then wait 24 years until Trump was elected just to get an opportunity to take out part of a national icon. Trump got rid of the East Wing of the White House so fast, I thought someone had told him that's where the files on the Jeffrey Epstein case were kept. Trump signed an executive order officially renaming October 12th Columbus Day instead of the more modern one, Indigenous Peoples Day. What better president to honor Christopher Columbus than Donald Trump? Those two have a lot in common. Two white men who brought diseases back and eliminated the country's brown people. Trump met with the new Japanese prime minister this week. Finally, something from the United States that makes the Japanese think, well, Hiroshima and Nagasaki weren't that bad. Donald Trump, or as the Japanese call him, American Godzilla. J.D. Vance said that the comments made by MSNBC's Jen Psaki about his wife were disgraceful, saying that only his supporters are allowed to make disparaging remarks. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says that Trump advisor Stephen Miller looks about 4'10" tall. To be fair, he does look over 5 feet tall after he uses his spray-on hair. New Jersey gubernatorial candidate Jack Ciattarelli served ham at a New York Giants tailgate. I wonder how he felt serving a lot of his relatives to a bunch of Giants fans. A commentator on Fox boasted that sales of Hamburger Helper were going up despite the rising costs of groceries and other necessities. That's not the flex they think it is. Hamburger Helper is shit. It's so bad that even people who can afford to buy ramen look at someone buying Hamburger Helper and think, what a broke-ass bitch. And on that note, on with the show. Please join me in welcoming to discuss this week's topics, Polite Kitty, Chipp Jones, and Alyson Chadwick.
Hey, Tom.
Everyone, welcome back. What's everyone been up to this week?
Well, I just want to say that as a fan of someone who eats SpaghettiOs, you're right. Hamburger Helper is disgusting. I'd rather choose a SpaghettiOs.
I mean, that's pretty much my pre-show diet is canned stuff because I'm not a fan of cooking or doing anything like any kind of labor in the kitchen. Like if it takes more than 5 minutes and a microwave, I'm like, fuck this, I'm out.
Well, I think they're bearing the lead because they're buying the Hamburger Helper, but they're not buying the hamburger. So.
Oh, right? They can't afford the hamburger. All they got is the helper.
Oh my God.
It's helper for dinner again, kids.
That's the equivalent of like buying the seasoning for the ramen.
That's right.
not being able to afford the ramen.
We're a nation that's cutting ramen in half and just half seasoning.
You just open up the ramen seasoning and just pour it in your mouth. You don't have any more.
Oh my God.
We cut medications, we're cutting ramen. Like we're being very inventive in this new era of American austerity. The current frontrunner in this year's New York mayor's race is Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani. This has inflamed some of his more polarized opponents, who aren't so much pissed that Mamdani won the Democratic primary to be the next mayor of New York because he's dark-skinned or that he's an avowed socialist. They're pissed off now because that's more effort that they have to make to try to spell his name.
Ta!
And after months of him being the nominee, they still haven't mastered it. Watching comics like Nick Mullen endorse Mamdani is refreshing to watch them disavow Andrew Cuomo, his model for toxic masculinity. For someone with so many sexual assault allegations, I'm surprised Cuomo doesn't have the endorsement of more New York open mic edgelord comics. Cuomo looked at Mamdani's victory and thought to himself, oh, that's how you touch young people. Cuomo reportedly used artificial intelligence to create several campaign ads, one of them featuring him as a conductor on the New York subway. It's fitting that Cuomo released a campaign ad featuring himself in a subway. That's where I would go if I wanted to grope women. I could make jokes about the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa, but that would be a bit like making fun of cancer patients. And I don't want to make their situation worse by comparing them to Curtis Sliwa. Alyson, being the only New York resident on this panel tonight, like what's people's view of the race just in general? Like, I think the polls show the race has tightened a little bit, but that's polls have been wrong before. Like, what are you observing from your?
I think it's going to be Mondami's to lose. I mean, it's funny though, because people on either side, like I saw someone today post that if you voted for him, it'd be like Trump was getting in. I'm like, how are you getting that? And then other people are like, oh, if he gets in, we're well, Cuomo said he'd move to Florida, which prompted an almost universal sweet. That's another reason to vote for Mondami. Right. Like, now we can get rid of you. But it's just, I mean, I'm out on Long Island, so I can't vote in that election, but people are just a little out of control with their rhetoric.
Plus, if Cuomo moves down to Florida, I think he could try to out DeSantis.
Oh, I don't.
And become the next governor, probably. I mean, that's the direction he's headed.
Probably. I'd like to watch that from afar. That'd be fun popcorn eating show. Yeah, I mean,
This past weekend, Zoran Mamdani held a rally with the headline, "New York is not for sale." Quite ironic considering Wall Street, which literally buys and sells people and companies, is located there. Also something to consider is that the only part of New York that New Yorkers can afford is Rochester. A lot of New York electeds are slowly coming to support the Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York, including New York Governor Kathy Hochul, who receives a less than warm reception, as we can see in this clip.
We don't just fight, we win, because time and time again, New Yorkers have been knocked down, and we get up stronger, louder, and more resilient than ever before. So I'll be fighting every day with my partners on the same side, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, and our Speaker, Carl Heath, to give them a round of applause. But you know what? Well, we need something. Here's what we need. Oh, you're fired up. You're fired up.
To be fair to Kathy Hochul, I think that's how most people react to people from upstate New York.
I like that they chose the Oreo cookie formation. That always works.
Didn't even notice that.
Black people on the outside and a white person in the middle.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Getting all the attention and the glory and the accolades.
That's right.
But really, it's about these two behind me.
Right.
And Kathy Hochul is probably experiencing what Frankenstein's monster felt right before the villagers were about to chase him out of town.
Torches and pitchforks.
Poor Kathy Hochul.
I'm going to say she reminds me of every open mic host. It's just like, and welcome, Mom Donnie. Yay, you guys are fired up.
If the internal struggles of the modern establishment Democratic Party can be symbolized by anything, it's that the current Democratic incumbent Mayor Eric Adams dropped out to support the former Democratic governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, while Zoran Mamdani, the actual Democratic Party nominee, is ignored even by the Washington-based New York electeds like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. In this clip, we see the awkward moment when Eric Adams tells us he is leaving the race and therefore his office.
But trust me when I tell you, what we've started will continue to reach every community in this city. It's not always easy to see the impact of good policy in just 3 years. I also know some remain unsure of me after the unfortunate events surrounding my federal case. I was wrongfully charged because I fought for this city. And if I had to do it again, I would fight for New York again. And yet, despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign. The constant media speculation about my future and the campaign finance board's decision to withhold millions of dollars have undermined my ability to raise the funds needed for a serious campaign. I hope that over time, New Yorkers will see this city thrive under our leadership, and that policies we put in place should be continued and expanded. I hope you will see that despite the headlines and innuendo, I always put you before me, always.
I mean, his ad makes it look like he's about to tell us his wife's kicked him out of the bedroom and he's been relegated to sleeping on the couch.
That is
I mean,
the strangest thing I've ever seen. He's sitting on his stairs with a picture of, who is that? Is that his mother? Who is that? And I can trust him as far as I could throw him. Yeah, he put Turkey ahead of the people of New York, whatever.
He did it his way. That's what the song said.
Oh, my Lord. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Hey, let's do the ad on the stairs.
Yeah. You know, I'm just spitballing. What do you think about doing it on the stairs? What do you think? What do you think?
Where I'm just naturally knee up, picture of my mother next to me.
Like I normally just hang out here on the stairs in my house with a picture of my mother who I don't even reference in my ad. I just put it there. Like, what? What thought process? I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. You look just like most New Yorkers.
Right. Where'd you get that picture? Oh, I just ripped it out of the frame upstairs. That was
Yeah, like what is it?
And,
oh my God.
You know, Eric Adams said he would put the people of New York before him, which isn't comforting because I think in the context of his entire term in office, I think that meant he would put them before himself into the path of an oncoming 18-wheeler
or a subway
or through a minefield or subway.
or for a prison sentence, they can go in before him.
Joining us on the second half of our show to go ahead and discuss everything going on in the world right now, or to discuss our big topics, please welcome back to the show, Richard Ojeda.
Yay!
Woo.
Richard,
thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. A couple questions I wanted to ask before we sort of get into what we want to talk about here. How is the campaign going? I personally have been following it on your lives. There's a lot of stuff happening, and someone trying to throw up the state of North Carolina trying to throw up roadblocks in your way, I understand.
Well, I will tell you that I think we have a phenomenal shot of flipping this red seat blue. We are raising the money that is needed to flip this red seat blue. If you know, I think 2 nights ago, Donald Trump did like a 2-paragraph truth where he started talking about how much he loves Richard Hudson and how he supports him. You know, this is out of nowhere. And the reason for that's because basically they're scared. They know that we're outworking them. They know that we're putting boots on the ground everywhere. And they know that we got one heck of a shot of flipping this seat from red to blue. So that's why, they're doing everything in their power. But the campaign is going great. It could not be going any better.
Oh, good. Because I know on some of your lives, which I do watch, by the way, I watch them religiously. They're trying to bring like all the redistricting that they're doing in states like Texas and Missouri and Indiana and all. From what I understand, they're trying to bring that to North Carolina. I think to like target candidates like you. Yeah,
they've already drew the new map lines. Right. They drew the new map lines, and what they did was they basically cut. They're doing everything in their power to make it to where Don Davis will not be able to win his re-election. Right. They basically have removed 40,000 voters of color and replaced them with 40,000 white voters. The way that you draw the map, this is what they do. But I'm telling, the governors of California and Illinois and Massachusetts and New York, if they want to play that game, then go for it. But once again, don't just answer, go all the way. Because the truth is California could probably create another 25 seats if they really wanted to. New York could create 20 seats. Illinois maybe 17, Massachusetts 15. But once again, we could do far more than what Donald Trump and them are doing. But I'm glad that people are fighting back.
And one more thing I wanted to bring up. You had a very interesting theory, and I heard you give this on one of your lives, where you seem to have a theory that like Donald Trump isn't running the country. That was pretty interesting. Like he has all these other people put into positions of power in there.
Donald Trump is a puppet. Once again, the guy literally lives on a golf course. The taxpayers have already spent like $100 million just for him to golf. So it's not like he's actually, doing anything. And once again, it's like they keep him in the Oval Office. They're trying to keep him happy when they're the ones trying to push, this Project 2025. I mean, I guarantee you Donald Trump probably doesn't even know what 95% of it even says. But, once again, he's their useful idiot, and they're using him to do the things they want to do.
If Donald Trump supporters are slowly starting to learn one thing, that's normal for them. Little by little, which is another way of describing how they learn, they discover that while Biden may have prioritized funding for areas that did not vote for him, Trump won't even do the same for his own supporters. Let's take a look at the town of Westernport, Maryland. The county in which it's located, Allegheny, supported Trump by a 40-point margin in the last election. It turned out not to have benefited them in their efforts to receive federal disaster funding in last spring's flood-causing rainstorms, as we can see in this clip.
This morning, Maryland Governor Wes Moore is slamming the Trump administration's decision to deny FEMA funding to his state. So this is in response to devastating flooding back in May. The governor had asked the federal government for millions of dollars to rebuild severely impacted roads, bridges, and also buildings in 2 counties.
I told the Trump administration directly that I thought this decision was petty, that it was partisan, and that there was no basis for it. It is unprecedented for a governor of Maryland to be able to put in for emergency disaster federal relief, especially when we not just hit the criteria, we exceed the criteria.
I mean, there was clear devastation in so many areas of the town. What is your understanding of why this FEMA request was denied? Was it policy or was it politics?
We really wasn't given a clear understanding. We are hoping it was not politics. During emergency disasters, politics should not play a part in it, regardless of what party you're associated with. We're very confused as to why it was not approved. We were hopeful, but that unfortunately we are going to fight and do the appeal process.
We mentioned, some of the things that the governor had put in terms of that request. I mean, this is directly what you saw in Westernport. We're talking about roads that are damaged, that were taken out. I know that a number of residents had severe damage. They are trying to get hot water heaters replaced. They're trying to get the damage in their homes and businesses fixed. Where does all of that stand, given that these FEMA funds are not going to be coming through, at least as of now?
We have one road that is currently closed down without those FEMA funds. We're looking at a long period of time before it can be repaired. The town just doesn't have the income to do that. That road is a main road that is used by approximately 8 to 10 first responders to respond to emergency calls. Without the use of that road, they have to go a different route, which will add time onto the emergency response. So that is a concern of the town. The bigger concern is our residents. Most of these residents lost their furnaces. We've been working with Department of Social Service, County United Way, and several agencies that have made wonderful donations to supply appliances and hot water tanks. But the greatest concern right now is winter is approaching, and these homes are going to be without heat.
That second voice there, that was Mayor Judy Hamilton, who I believe is most mayors in the small towns here in Maryland, they're elected on a nonpartisan basis. So it's difficult to tell where her political affiliations lie. And it's disheartening when they put their faith in this guy and he's just casting them off to the side.
That's his way. That's what he does.
I mean, so I want it to make sense. These campaigns can raise millions of dollars. They can, give millions of dollars to this damn ballroom that he's putting up. But yet this town needs literal infrastructure support. And they're like, no, thanks.
Well, it's also that if you look at a lot of the towns, like he's going after blue states, but a lot of the people in these states voted for him.
Yeah.
Like in Western Maryland, but he does this. I mean, look at who's gonna be hurt by the SNAP stop.
The majority,
red people.
The majority of it's called poor white Republicans.
Right.
Poor Republicans, it's an oxymoron. But once again, it's the people in southern West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, South Carolina, Arkansas, Missouri. Those are the people that are going to be hurt the worst. There are more white enrollees to government programs than there are anybody else. That is an absolute fact. And those people are about to go in a rude awakening, and it's going to be coming real fast.
Speechless. That's all I am. I mean,
It
it's
is.
But
I mean, we're seeing an amped up legacy that has been going on for since time immemorial. I mean, there are court records of state congresses back during Reconstruction that would write these laws to stop Black people from voting. And in the records, they said out loud, well, this law is going to stop white people from voting too. It's like, well, yeah, we'll lose a few white people, but if it can stop Black people, we're still going to do it.
Good
And
Lord.
that's this legacy. It doesn't sometimes matter whether or not these people are white. It's who are the people you're going to hurt. As long as I can still hurt a lot of the people I want to hurt, I don't mind giving up a few, quote unquote, of our own, So that's the way Trump operates,
You are spot on. I grew up in southern West Virginia, and I know people that live in poverty. Most people can't even begin to imagine. And it's like the thing that's holding up their house is their Trump flag. And at the end of the day, these people are more than willing to live like that as long as they believe that there's other people out there that have it worse than them.
Right.
Or
that they have the same hatred for those people. Trump has the same hatred for those people as they have. So it's like, I'll suffer through it as long as we're together in our hate,
Oh my God. Yeah. That's just so depressing.
It is.
But it brings people together, right? Like if we could find a common hatred of something, it really bonds us forever.
I mean, at this point, I'm hoping that Three-Eye Atlas is just coming here to get him.
It's funny that you say that, because as a sci-fi buff, that's always been a unifying force in sci-fi, is that aliens. If we had another planet of aliens that came, that'll unite our Earth. It's like, as long as we have a common enemy, we can forget about our racism, our sexism, our
as long as we're fighting the same
classism, foe. As long as we're fighting the same foe, we could come together.
I think even the aliens would look at us and go, fuck this place, it's too dangerous, and take off.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it may be that they may come here for that. Then it always hits me just like when you just said. Yeah, they're going to be like, hell no, I don't want no part of this garbage.
This is too much trouble.
The joke is that aliens drive by Earth, they lock their doors and keep going.
Chipp wins that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roll them up.
With the second term of a president who sought to use his supporters to violently overturn the results of the election previous to this one, the events of January 6th seemed to not only be in the rearview mirror, but seemed to have been normalized and forgotten by the mainstream media. Unfortunately, the only place where January 6th is actively on the minds of most people is the right-wing media sphere. As we can see with Alex Stein interviewing right-wing comedian Chrissie Mayr and Adam Johnson, a.k.a. the Lectern guy, in this clip.
I have three of my very close friends that I've known for years now. It's crazy how time flies. Let me introduce him. You know, he was arguably one of the biggest terrorists on January 6th. You love him. We love him. Everybody loves him. Let's all welcome on the Lectern guy, Adam Johnson. Adam. And, of course, everybody's favorite comedian, Chrissie Mayr. Chrissie, welcome to the show, guys.
I thought when you were saying biggest terrorist from January 6th, I was like, oh, please be me, please be me.
Actually, that's a good way to start. Adam, how do you feel? Because Chrissie was famously at January 6th and did not get in trouble whatsoever. And you could have, didn't they call you or something?
I could carry a podium, just I didn't need to go in and see if I could.
But I'm saying, like, didn't they call you, Chrissie? Like, didn't the FBI call you?
Yeah, they called my house. They wanted to confirm that a video I posted on Facebook was actually mine so they could use it to prosecute people.
Oh my gosh. Well, we all know that the federal government is corrupt, and sadly that is a little bit why I think we're all reeling right now.
It was a transgender that was a part of a youth group that I helped lead that actually doxed my family online.
Oh, after January 6th?
Yes, it actually was a transgender. It was a girl who was troubled. She transitioned to be a male. She's actually an attorney now, I think practicing in Pennsylvania. But she was the one who doxed my family, my wife, where my kids go to school. And, you know, this is a person that I spend time with praying with. And for that to happen, I mean, it's how many times does it have to happen for us to say there is a thing we should look at? There is a plan. There is a protocol in place that these people are coming after us.
I think the rule of law evades this guy just as irony does. Like, here, this person doxed me, and I'm going to go ahead and inadvertently dox them right back.
Sad, huh?
They have no concept of their own behavior or the consequences or anything. You know, they do stuff and it's really awful, and then they go around and accuse everyone. It's all projection or confession.
Seriously. I mean, the guy sat there on that stand and said, the federal government is so corrupt. Yes, I think we could actually agree on that point.
But
Yes,
nonsense.
Are they trying to rebrand January 6th as something other than what it was? I mean, that's what it is. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there, and you know, I was inside, and I grabbed a podium, and you know, all this.
They are rewriting history.
All this stuff happened, but we were just tourists. You know,
they are rewriting.
There's a plaque up in the Capitol commemorating the protesters on January 6, 2021. I mean, they really see them as patriots who are just trying to do the right thing. It's crazy.
They want to rewrite history and make that day a heroic day. Right. It'll become the new July 4th.
Oh, for them it is. It absolutely is. Already, yeah.
January 6th is way too cold to have a cookout. All right? That's why it's a bad idea.
Not with global warming.
Not if you're burning flags. I mean,
oh man, freedom of speech.
That's right.
On that note, that's our show. I want to thank Polite Kitty, Chipp Jones, Alyson Chadwick, and Richard Ojeda.
Yay!
Yay. Thanks, guys.
No. This episode was written and hosted by Tom Myers with panelists Polite Kitty, Chipp Jones, Alyson Chadwick, and Richard Ojeda. Theme music composed and arranged by Jeroen van den Hurck. Executive producers Tom Myers, Aaron Duspiva for Oddly Funny Productions, Matt Connarton for ipmNation, and Eddie Carson for Odyssey Radio. Please leave a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Tom Myers, for access to ad-free episodes, extended episodes, bonus clips, and now Patreon exclusive episodes. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for listening, and please visit tommyers.us.